So in a bowl, I just have my softened to room temperature butter, and I've mixed that with my granulated sugar, and I'm going to beat that together until it's a nice and fluffy consistency. Like that. And then I'm just going to go ahead and add my egg yolks one at a time. And make sure to mix that in well before you add the next one, and make sure you also use a spatula to scrape down the sides of your bowls after every couple egg yolk, just to make sure everything's incorporated properly. So it's going to look nice and fluffy like this, and that's what you definitely want. Next, I'm going to go ahead and add my vanilla extract, and I'm just going to beat that until that's fully incorporated. And that's pretty much it for this part, so I'm going to set this mixture aside. In a separate bowl, I'm going to go ahead and sift together my flour, baking powder, and salt. I'm not a big fan of sifting, but you need to for this. Then you're going to go ahead and add your flour a little bit at a time to your butter egg yolk mixture. And once that's all blended in, you're going to do a little bit of milk and then blend that in. And then once all that's blended, you're going to add a little bit more flour, and then you're going to keep going back and forth until you end up with flour, and you're just going to dump that in and blend all together. And that's pretty much it for the batter. So this batter is going to be super fluffy and thick, and that's what you want. I'm going to line my muffin tin with cupcake liners, and I'm just going to use my ice cream scoop to evenly distribute the batter all throughout each little cup. You don't want to overfill it, about half, maybe a little bit more than half up the sides, and you are good. You're going to place the muffin tin in your preheated 350-degree oven. You're going to let that bake for about 17 to 19 minutes. It kind of just depends on your oven. So I'm just giving it a tap down. I don't know why it's not going to level out. It's too thick of a batter, but you know. Okay, so once those are baking, you're going to take a clean bowl. This bowl I kept in the freezer that whole time while I was making the batter. And I'm putting in my heavy cream, and I'm just going to beat that until it is stiff peaks. So you're going to get really nice stiff whipped cream, and that's what you want. You don't want it to be loose at all. You almost want it to be like right before the butter stage. Okay, and then set that aside. And then in a separate clean bowl, you're going to take your mascarpone cheese and place that in your bowl. This has been sitting out at room temperature, that whole time that I was making the batter for the cake. So it's nice and soft. Then I'm going to sift in my powdered sugar. I'm using powdered sugar and not granulated because powdered sugar has a little bit of cornstarch, and that kind of stabilizes this whole frosting at the end. So blend it all together. I also added a little bit of vanilla extract to this mascarpone mixture. And I'm just going to blend that together until it is super, super smooth and creamy. Okay, now bring back your bowl of whipped cream. You're going to take about, I don't know, a third of that whipped cream and just plop it right into the mascarpone mixture, and you're going to mix it. You don't have to be gentle with this. You don't have to fold it in. You're just kind of lightening up the heavy mascarpone mixture. And then I'm going to add the other third of the whipped cream, and I'm going to be a little bit more gentle this time, but I'm still not really kind of just folding it in. I'm just really mixing it in to lighten up that mixture. Then after this, I'm going to take the rest of my whipped cream, plop that all into the bowl, and then I'm going to be gentle and I'm just going to fold it. So folding, you take your spatula down the center, up and over, down the center, up and over, kind of scraping the sides. You know, you can kind of see here. And let me tell you, this frosting is so good. You can use this frosting for like anything. If you don't like mascarpone cheese, you could substitute that for 8 ounces of cream cheese, and it makes the most bomb cream cheese frosting. So it's pretty interchangeable. So as you can see, I'm just folding it in, and then that's pretty much it for the frosting. I'm gonna put some saran wrap over it, and I'm gonna pop that into my fridge so it stays nice and cold. Okay. In a little squeeze bottle like you see here, I got this from my Safeway grocery store. I have a really strong espresso coffee in there. You need only about like a half cup. I have about a cup in there. But you take your cooled cupcakes, you stick the cupcake down on top of that syringe, and then you flip it over and kind of give it one good squeeze, and that's all you need. Do not over squeeze espresso in there because it will turn into a soggy mess and no one will want to eat it. So just one little squirt. You can even use like a meat injector if you have one. It's a little bit easier to kind of gauge how much you've put into the cupcake, but I just give it one little squeeze and that's it. So I'm going to set all those aside. So you'll see here how much I've used up for X amount of cupcakes, so you really don't need that much coffee at all. And yes, I did ghetto rig it and put electrical tape around it because it was leaking. So you're just going to fill all your cupcakes, and then it's pretty much home run from here. You put piping bag. I use a large star tip, and I'm putting my ice or my frosting into that piping bag. I'm squeezing out the first little bit just to get that initial piece of like a little bit of air out, and you're just going to pipe this. You could use a round tip. You don't even have to put it in a piping bag. You can spread it on there if you really want to. I just like the look of piped on frosting. So I'm just gonna swirl that on top, and yeah, I'm just gonna do that for all of the cupcakes. And when you're done frosting them, you're gonna want to refrigerate this cupcake for minimum 4 hours. Do not just serve it immediately because it'll be a little bit too soggy. You gotta give that espresso a little bit of time to kind of soak into the cake and just kind of firm it up a little bit. It's a weird process, but you need to do it. Minimum 4 hours, overnight better. Okay, next day or 4 hours later, you're just going to get a little tiny sieve, and then you're going to get some cocoa powder. This is unsweetened dark cocoa powder. You could use regular or dark. I like dark. And you're just going to tap a tiny bit right over the top of that frosting, and it looks so pretty like that. You can also do shaved chocolate if you prefer. I found that cocoa was the easiest, so that's what I did, and you're just going to do that for all of them, and that's pretty much it. You're done. And these are the most amazing cupcakes, and if you are wondering what it looks like when you bite into it, I will show you a shot that I've cut the cupcake in half so you can kind of see what the center looks like and what it should look like. It is so amazing. Like, if you love tiramisu, I love tiramisu. It's my favorite dessert ever. But you will love this cupcake. Anyways, that's it for today. Thank you all so much for watching and subscribing if you have. Please give this video a thumbs up, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye!